teach them the skills needed to improve the quality of their relationships. This is the Couples Academy Show.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Couples Academy Show. My name is Hassani.
I'm Miss Jewel.
I'm Roland Bradley.
And I'm Jeff White.
And we are the Avengers, guys. This is the Couples Academy team, and we're here to talk to you about your situation. So whether you're single, dating, engaged, or married, if you're separated, if you're on the verge of divorce, whatever your situation is, this is the place where we come to address it. So you want to put the question in the chat box so that we can jump into it. So many people wait till 2 minutes before the show, and then we have a blitz of questions, and by that time it's too late and you got to wait a week. So listen, I want you to bogart your way into the front of the line so that we can address your questions. But let me give you some quick information. We've been talking about this Unearthed Retreat, the Unearthed Retreat, which is going to be taking place next weekend, September the 9th through the 11th. Well, guess what, folks? It's officially sold out. I've been telling you, get in. I told you this was going to happen. Now some of you are going to have to wait a whole nother year, but it's not too late because the 12-week program of Unearthed is starting September the 14th, along with Foundry and Unearthed September 14th. So make sure you register for that. But the Last Chance Weekend is coming up the following weekend, right? So there's opportunities for you as a couple to get involved in that. What we're going to do is go to a quick video unpacking what the Last Chance Weekend is, and then we'll get started with today's question. Stay right there. That's right. Last Chance Weekend. That is what we do not want to miss. Why am I hearing an echo? I'm hearing a crazy echo. We'll get it figured out, folks. In the meantime, let's get started with today's conversation. Are you guys hearing the echo on my end?
Yes.
Okay, so somebody, I don't know. My settings are right, so I don't know why there's an echo going on.
It's a little better now.
Okay, see where it goes. All right, so we're gonna dive in. We're gonna dive into some questions, but let me just say this: this Saturday, this is the last announcement. We have our Money Mastery Masterclass. Tuition is $197. It is this Saturday from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know it's a holiday weekend, but listen, folks, the holiday is not until Monday. You know what I'm saying? Saturday could be a transformational breakthrough for you and your spouse and your family and your future by diving into this conversation, which is going to be extremely impactful. So link is in the description of the video. Make sure you click it and register today. We're going to have a phenomenal time. All right, let's get to the first question. It says, good morning. Me and my husband we've been living apart for a year. It's work related. We have 2 kids, so they are priority now. He's coming home. How can we get back on good terms? So pause 1 second. You're separated, living in 2 different places because it's work related. So there's nothing in that gave me the indication that you weren't on good terms, but maybe the separation and being apart for so long, and now just the children being the priority has created a disconnect. We talk about this all the time that, you know, one of the biggest issues that couples struggle with is the lack of quality time in a relationship. And the further you are apart, for a longer period of time, there's an emotional disconnect that takes place. You get caught up in your own rhythms, your own patterns, your own ways of doing things. Then you come back into an environment. It's just like, we've been doing it this way. How you going to come in here and change the order around? There could be a whole number of issues that are taking place in this household. But how would you guys address that? They've been apart for some time. They're coming back in together. How do they get things on track?
I think they should start dating again. Start spending some time, some quality time together, just you and your spouse, not with the children, just so you guys can get back to, get on one accord, figure out what's going to work for you guys now that you've been apart for so long, get to know each other again and really, solidify, how things are going to be now that he's back in the household and with you raising the children.
She went on to say that there was infidelity prior to this. Okay. So that's a huge issue. Who wants to add on to what Jewel just said?
Well, I think they need to take a look at where she really needs to make an assessment of where they're at in their relationship. Where, are they ready to heal? Are they ready to forgive? I think, getting away for a weekend and just rediscovering each other might be good to start with and see how things go. Away from the kids, where you're not bringing in the outside stressors. So if you have a support network, whether it's family or otherwise, maybe just take a weekend, 2-3 days, and you don't have to go that far. Just be together for that weekend and see how things go when you're just together with just you alone and no added stress. And then from there, obviously counseling is always a good option to kind of help you work through those new issues that may arise as you're getting to know each other once again.
All right, very good. And here's another question. I want to start off with Roland, and then people can piggyback if they so choose. We've been in counseling. We've read the books. We've watched the videos. This came in on my phone. Yet and still, we're not past it. It's been 2 years since the affair. The spouse is a different person. They're showing up completely different in their relationship, but the other partner is still trapped in the past, haunted by the ghosts of the relational past. How do we get beyond this?
So a lot of times there has to be a level of transparency between the two of you guys. You have to be honest and open about where you want to see your relationship go. If you stay stuck and trapped, it is a call for help. It's a cry out for help. I would highly recommend and suggest getting professional help, a mediator that can come in and kind of guide you through a process of being able to forgive, being able to heal, and being able to move on. So that transparency and that level of cohesiveness, when we look at where we want our relationship to be compared to where it was, is going to be key in the process of moving forward.
Excellent point. Excellent point. You have an individual here whose heart is bleeding. They're trapped in an emotion. They're trapped in a thought. Every time they try to work through the situation, they're pulled right back into their pit, their darkness. And not only is it impacting one person, it's impacting the couple, their relationship, their happiness. Is robbing them of their present. And so, yes, I agree with you that counseling is extremely important. And so I think we want to reinforce the idea that when you do the counseling, you have to do the work that the counselors tell you to do. Because if you don't do the work, and if you think going to counseling is to solve, the fix all, that's the trap. That's the deception. It takes so much more than just showing up to a session in order to experience transformation in your life. So great point. Great point. Go ahead.
Do you know if the person who's suffering is male or female? The one who's still living in the past? Is it female?
It's female. Yeah.
Okay. One of the best things that you could probably ever do for her is get in Unearthed. That's no joke. I've watched, and it can be even traumatic for the men sometimes because they're digging through their feelings. But at the end of the day, what ends up coming out is they have to become a stronger person, because a lot of us have to deal with all kinds of trauma in our lives. And understanding that the infidelity was caused by you, but we as individuals are responsible for our own health and healing. You're responsible an environment that is safe for them to heal and trust you again, but they have to be to a degree responsible for their own healing, because without your own mind being able to free yourself from that burden, you'll carry it for the rest of your life, and you'll live a tortured existence if you're constantly focused on the past.
And I think if the person that is, she made a statement that the other person is actually doing the work and she's the one who's stuck. So if this person is doing the work, are you stuck because you're trying to look at your marriage and that person the way you looked at them before, or because you're still remembering everything that transpired, opposed to they're showing up different? So now you have to look at them differently. You have to look at your circumstances differently. You have to look at you know, your marriage differently. It should be something new. So now you have something else to look at and look forward to versus being stuck on what was going on before.
Excellent point. Excellent point. Here's another comment from Christina. It says, transparency finally worked for my marriage. Took me almost 10 years to forgive and move forward and do the work. I wouldn't recommend holding on to the pain of being cheated on. Releasing it freed me. That's a very, very powerful point. We love to hear that. Let me tell you something. As many people as write in that talk about the pain that they're going through, there's so many more who don't write in, who talk about the transformation that they've experienced because they were willing to do the work. So we appreciate that reminder. There's a small little biographical dissertation that came in, multiple posts. I'm going to read them to address. The first thing is, I think the apart time, going back to that point, the apart time would set the mood. Coming from my experience, my husband went into the Army and was gone for 10 months. It was just me and my children. Ages were 4 and 3. And she was pregnant at the time also. Also, there were infidelities before and after Army, but the distance made him realize how important I was. But his family was to him. He got back and we spent more time together and shown, I'm sorry, I didn't even post that, but that's what she's saying, and shown appreciation to one another. Okay, so in essence, absence made the heart grow fonder. And we find that with some individuals, certain personality types, it can actually serve you. It can actually help you. For some personality types, out of sight, out of mind. And so that can hurt, harm, and hinder. And so I think I'm glad that in your case, it was a reset and it allowed you to get back into a better place. Anybody want to comment on that?
I think so, even though that they're in a better place, somewhere in there, they still need to address the problems that they had so they don't have them again. I understand, Jeff, you've been in the military, and being away, kind of gives you some freedom that, some men just can't handle, so if he's still in the military, he's going to be going away again. So is her mindset going to go back to, am I going to have to experience this again? It's definitely due for a conversation. I'm glad they're in a better place, but they still need to address the things that happen.
Absolutely. 1000%. Here's a great question, guys. I want to see how you all would handle this. Camille says, I have the intense desire to get an apology from the affair partner. She was an acquaintance of mine. D-Day was June of this year. Not sure if this can help me move forward or not. Am I being crazy? Who wants to weigh in on that?
I think it depends, right? So let's put it this way. How close are you to this affair partner? If they're just an acquaintance, maybe that if the apology came, and even whether you thought it was sincere or not, there was a violation of trust there. And unless you have some kind of deep-seated, bonded relationship that you can't let go of, I think the best thing to do is to never see them again if you can, because the truth of the matter is, whether you're haunted or not by the one or desire of an apology, that person will remain a threat to your relationship.
Bro, what do you think?
That's an excellent point. I do believe that, depending on the status of the relationship with this acquaintance, because honestly, if she apologizes to you and you guys are still not in a good place, then the point of the apology really won't matter. So you have to take into consideration the relationship and how much does it mean to you? How much does a relationship mean to you, to the both of you guys? And really, no, it's not being crazy, but I think we should really analyze and assess the necessity of that friendship. Are they an asset or a liability?
Cost benefit analysis. Cost benefit process. What is this going to cost you if you were to reconnect with this person, get the apology? What is the benefit that you're going to get out of it? I would write those things down. What are the costs that could possibly happen, and what are the benefits that you can absolutely? This is called the Ben Franklin method. You one side, the other side. If you look at if the benefits outweigh the costs or the potential threat, then maybe it's good to go out and try to get that apology. Maybe sit down and have a coffee or tea with them and figure it out. If the benefits don't outweigh the costs, cut it.
Joel?
She goes on to say, I see her every week.
See, I didn't read that part, but that's where I was going in my mind. So proceed.
She says she sees her every week. Her getting an apology from this young lady and still being able to see her every week, is that going to be something that's going to remind you all the time, whether she apologizes or not? Seeing her is going to be a reminder. Is the relationship you have with her worth the stress is going to bring upon you in your marriage? I would just let it go.
Whether you get the apology or not, you should go on and forgive.
Yes. Forgiveness is for her. Exactly.
Something for her. Forgiveness is something you do for you, and she never needs to know that you forgave her. You just move on.
Yeah.
But then having to see her every week with certain, do what you need to do. Forgive her because it is for you, not for her. But then I'm not understanding, what do you work together that you have to see her every week? Are y'all in the same social settings?
There's a phenomenal book by Esther Perel called The State of Affairs, and it talks about when your spouse has an affair with a family member, with a close friend, with an associate, with someone with someone who knows that you're married to the person, your spouse, whatever. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. It feels like a double betrayal. Not only were you betrayed by your spouse, but you were betrayed by this associate who knew. And then I have to see you every day. So whether we live in the same neighborhood and I got to drive past your house every day, whether we work in the same building and I got to walk past your cubicle every day, whether we're in the same neighborhood and we shop at the same stores once a week, whatever the case may be, the idea that you're still roaming around and you're the one who intentionally knew what my situation was and slept with my spouse. People get held up in different areas for different reasons in the recovery process, right? So what one person experiences that creates breakthrough, another person, it doesn't impact them at all. And then other people who say, well, that's no big deal. Other people are hell bent that they need breakthrough in that particular area, or it's hard to move forward. I think ultimately what you're saying is correct, right? So regardless of whether you get the apology or not, you need to move forward. You need to forgive, because at the end of the day, that person can apologize and you still struggle to forgive. That person may never apologize, but to your point, forgiveness is for you. But I think it's worthy of having a conversation with somebody and determining, to their point. Jeff is making a good point about the cost benefit analysis of how it serves you, how it serves the relationship. But what I do know is that seeing that person every single week can be very triggering. And maybe that's a part of it. Like, I can forgive, but I'm triggered. And I'm still struggling with this in my mind. How do I get over the trigger? How do I move forward? How do we get better? The how is in Couples Academy. You need to reach out to us so that we can set up a session and kind of guide you through a process. So that's a great question. And thank you for sharing those answers. I think it was powerful. Here's another one. Do me a favor, Jewel, can you read that? Because I don't have my glasses and, I'm struggling over here.
And I get out. This is part one. Baby mama continues to contact my husband about the kids, even though we set boundaries not to. How should we respond to her when she continues and refuses to respect the boundaries? Okay, that's part two. She refuses to communicate through our group message and keep the kids from him because she doesn't want them around me. Yeah.
Angel,
I got an answer, but Jeff, go ahead.
one word: lawyer. I'm telling you right now, you can try to argue all you want. There's nothing. Once she gets a court order to share the kids, and those terms are defined by the lawyer, And if necessary, seek full custody if you have to do that in order to create the negotiating tool. I've seen this done several times. I've advised men in these situations and women in these situations. Lawyer, because once you have a court order, it's enforced by the law. So you need to talk to a good attorney, not any attorney, a good family attorney who deals with these situations and has a track record, and put out there terms that have to be agreed to in front of a judge.
That's one option. That's a powerful option. And I figured you would say that, Jeff. There's another great option in addition to what he just said, because to his point, when you've done all that you can do, you got to bring in the big boys to make things happen. But my question is, when I read this, well, how is your husband responding? Like, is he complicit? Is he responding and engaging? And is he a part of the disrespect? Is he a part of the boundary breaking behavior? Because if he is, then you need to have a conversation with him, because no woman can do what he won't allow them to do.
Combine those two, mine and his, and you have an answer.
Boom.
Boom.
Most definitely.
Right. So boundaries are so critically important. We say this all the time. Like, if a husband and wife are not on the same page, other people can always get in between them and cause hell to take place when they're not in alignment. So the question is, are you two in alignment? That's what I would say. Here's another question. This is a powerful one. How would you recommend handling gaslighting by a spouse?
I think we need to define gaslighting real quick, just so everyone understands it, because I've heard a lot of definitions and a lot of people are wrong. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which the abuser attempts to sow self-doubt and confusion in their victim's mind. I have a long answer for this and a short answer, Hassani, but I'll let you guys go first.
So the whole thing with this gaslighting thing, really, we have to man up, woman up, and have these hard conversations that we just refuse to have, right? We just need to stop playing games, because we got to realize that our lives are on the line. And the fact that we continue to gaslight, it is just another way of hiding, another way of not being transparent, another way of wanting to keep doing what I've been doing, and don't want to be held responsible or held accountable for my actions. So how do you handle it? You push him up against the wall and allow him to, just be transparent, because that's going to be the thing. He has to understand the fact that you guys need to move on and you need to be able to handle situations, but you have to have those hard conversations.
The easiest way to defeat gaslighting is by not allowing self-doubt or confusion to enter your mind. And so you call people on their gaslighting when they do it. But here's the trick. Because it's an art of manipulation that people do gaslighting, there's one thing that they typically want to evoke, and that is a response, an emotional response from you. When you get angry, it gives them an excuse to continue their behavior. So if you can respond as he's talking about, put them against the wall, but not physically and not emotionally. You just need to call them on their BS calmly.
Don't even entertain it.
Over again, gaslighting no longer works, and it ceases. It'll frustrate the living daylights out of them, and they'll see that you've established a boundary that, no, I'm not going to fall for that. No, you're not going to make me feel bad about myself. No, you're not going to make me feel less than myself. And this is absolute BS. And you have to just keep doing it over and over and over again. The same way, unfortunately, you train a dog.
Powerful points. Listen, I'm reading these comments coming up. I'm going to read a few of them because they're all in alignment. Just forgive and move on sounds easy, but that's one of the hardest things to do when trust has been violated and interrupted your whole life as you know it. Then someone says, how does one forgive? Every time I think I have forgiven him, I'm blindsided by a trigger or thought. Even though I cast it aside, I feel the hurt again. Maybe I just don't know the steps on how to. And then another one, part two, forgive. What is wrong with me? My husband is doing everything he needs to be doing. I am stuck. So once again, this has always been an issue for a lot of people, this whole notion of forgiveness. It's a concept. It's a principle we've been taught. but we don't know the proper application of how to go about doing it. One thing I would say is that we don't have enough time to give you the how because there's only 4 minutes left, but we have done countless shows on this very topic. Even in our Moving Forward program, we have an entire module which we've spent several weeks in walking couples through the how, because you have to understand there are obstacles. There are these internal brakes and resistors that we have within us that keep us from being able to forgive. So I can give you the how. The how is easy. It's really simple. It's really about the why. If you're not soaked and saturated in a strong why, then the how is going to seem impossible. I mean, truth be told, I've said this 1,000 times. If you come into my library, you're going to find books on finance, books on marriage, books on fitness, books on spirituality. You're going to find books on starting businesses. Have I manifested and fulfilled everything in those books? I mean, I've got the how, right? I've got the how to. I've got the how-to manuals, the how-to videos. Why haven't I been able to do it? Because I haven't become who I need to be in all areas in order to manifest, in order to fulfill. That's what makes it an impossible goal until I become different, until I change. We're always focusing on what to do. What do I do? What do I do? But you are not a human doing. You are a human being. And when you decide to become someone new, you're able to do something that you've never been able to do before. So if you truly want to know the how, it's more than just reading it out of a book or me giving you some sound bites. Sometimes you need somebody to guide you through, coach you through, walk you through the actual steps to ensure that you're successful in your journey. Anybody want to add to that?
Jeff, go ahead.
I got a quick rundown, less than a minute and a half. First, you need to acknowledge the hurt, who hurt you, and why they did it. Okay. Then you need to consider how that pain has affected you. You need to write this down in a journal. You need to accept that you cannot change the past. You need to determine and make the decision whether or not you're truly going to forgive them. You need to make that decision. So this is all active forgiveness, not passive. A lot of us are waiting. You need to repair the relationship. You need to instigate the repair of the relationship. Determine what you want that relationship to look like towards the end. Like, what would the perfect ideal situation be if you've made the determination to forgive? You need to instigate the act of forgiveness by creating that scenarios and creating guidelines to get to a particular goal. You need to learn what forgiveness means to you as well as in general. And then you need to actually just forgive them. So those are 7 quick steps, hard to remember, but in all honesty, if you're the instigator of the forgiveness, you will be able to succeed every single time, but you need to create a vision for the future and move towards it.
Let's jump to a couple more questions. Husband had an affair with his coworker. It's a good job and pays well. We're expecting, and I don't want to mess up our finances. He says he doesn't talk to her, but she slams doors, huffs and puffs when she walks by. It's more of a statement than a question. Anybody want to address that?
New job. It's a perfect economy for it. I gave up a great job at a Fortune 100 company because I was going to have to see my affair partner every day, and I didn't want my wife getting triggered. Yes, it was great money, but at the end of the day, it was the best thing I ever did. Got a new job, and there's plenty out there right now. 9 times out of 10, you even make more.
And is the money that he is making worth the discomfort you're going to have every day every time he walks out that door?
New job.
Can you say that one more again?
Is the money he is making worth the discomfort you're going to have every time he walks out that door?
Wow. That's a powerful point. Powerful point. Listen, guys, I got one more comment in here. I know where. Oh, here we go. Michelle says, you all are so knowledgeable, and I appreciate you taking the time to do this every day. God bless you for all the help, or all that you're doing to help us through our trials and tribulations. Michelle, we appreciate you. This is what we're here for. We love you guys. You've been watching Ask the Experts. Our time is up. I hope that you have an amazing weekend. This is Labor Day weekend. Enjoy it. We won't be here on Monday. We'll be here on Tuesday. So enjoy your long holiday weekend, and we will see you on Tuesday for another great episode. Love you all and take care. Let's give them some love, folks.